Yeah, it's not hard work when it's fun. And we don't ever go anywhere, so we have to bring the fun to our house.
Headed out to Plaisance Ranch today, located in the beautiful Applegate Valley in Southern Oregon. I'll be chatting with the owners, Joe and Suzi Ginet, and if you know, you know. And if you don't, it's all good. I hope to share some of their magic with you. I've interviewed these two several times over the years for different reasons, and yet I always learn something new. They not only produce incredible wine, they love great food, good company, they're full of life experience and interesting stories. They're overflowing with generosity and kindness, and they are the epitome of hard work. And I have a feeling they may put me to work today. This harvest coming up in fall will be what harvest for Plaisance Ranch?
Well, legally, 2006 was the first legal harvest, but there was some harvests before that. So
You were doing some illegal stuff before then?
20 years, 20 harvest.
Born and raised Josephine County?
Yes,
Applegate School.
How did you two meet?
high school.
Oh, you met in high school. Okay. Was it stars? Was stars in your eyes?
Oh, from time to time. My grandfather came to Jacksonville in 1898 from Savoie, France, and he never really went back to France. So he went back once to get his wife and his grape starts, but she didn't come, and so he just came back with grape starts. He bought 500 acres outside of Jacksonville in Sterling Creek. They had apricots and plums and grapes, and they grew a little wheat up there.
Up Sterling Creek.
Yep.
Okay.
So they dried the apricots and the plums. They had wood-powered drying houses, and they made wine. Yeah, during Prohibition. So they didn't sell it supposedly, but
But they had the first car.
had the first car and the first telephone. So they might have sold a bottle or two. Built the school on their property,
Oh, really?
Sterling Creek School, and that's where we came up. Her family has quite a history here too. Actually, my uncles worked for her grandfather, who lived across the street back in the 20s and 30s in Sterling Creek.
My great-grandfather, he was a geologist, and he bought gold mines all around here in Canada and Alaska. And so my grandfather came up to run the gold mines here, and his uncles worked in the mine.
You two met in high school. Married when?
After we each married somebody else. Yes.
I don't think I knew that. This is second marriage for both of you? I didn't know that.
We weren't married to
3
Very
years,
long,
not very
yeah.
long.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you're still young when you both got married.
We got 50 years in now, so yeah.
When do you find this property here?
79.
You find this property, what do you want to do? What's the plan?
plant grapes someday.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do a vineyard.
We actually went up to Sterling Creek and took some cuttings off the Mondouse plants that his grandfather brought here, and we started some, but then somebody bought the ranch and raised elk on it, and it ate all the grapes that were there, and the ones that we propagated didn't survive.
Your grandfather brought Mondouse over? So there was always this plan to plant grapes, but that's not what you started off doing.
The bankers wouldn't give us any money to plant grapes, but if we wanted to do a dairy farm, how much money did we want? So we thought, well, this is an opportunity. We'll milk cows for a few years, and then we'll switch. And then we got really far in debt because of Jimmy Carter and his 18% interest. So we were buried, and we finally it took us 30 years to wiggle out of it gracefully, but then I think it was 98, my cousins came from France, and they wanted to invest in America so they could get a green card and come and go as they wanted. So they helped us start the nursery. That's what they do there in France. So they came for 6 years in a row and invested and taught us the business of the nursery. And so we started that.
Then we started the winery.
We started planting our vineyards, and That was quite a while before we actually started the winery, 2006.
And the bank wouldn't give you money for a winery because it was too risky?
No,
There was
it
no
planting
wineries here.
in the 70s. Nobody was planting.
There was Valley View, Forest, and Troon. That was the only wineries here.
And there were 68 dairies, I think. So there were a lot of dairies here then.
I've heard the story where, Susie, you weren't really like gung-ho on a winery, or no? Okay, no. Like straight face no.
No, I voted no. Everybody else voted yes.
So when it finally got to the place where we could sell the cows and pretty much pay everything off and get out of the dairy business and start our winery thing, well, she was against it. So
I just wanted to retire. I wanted to feed calves for 2 more years and retire. I didn't want to start something.
So I invited her whole family out here for dinner, and we voted on it. And she is the only one that voted no. Everybody else voted yes. So I got up from the table and went and called the guy and said, send the trucks.
It was a coup, Susie. It sounds like a coup. You got trapped.
I did.
You did get trapped. All of this, right, was from the dairy.
Yeah.
This was already existed, so you just took...
Repurpose. This is definitely a study in repurposing.
Yeah, we didn't want to go in debt again. So we just said, we're not building a fancy tasting room. Just use the dairy.
We put enough bankers' kids through college. We're done with that.
Speaking of kids, there's 5 of them? 5, okay. And they all grew up right here, right?
And they don't want to be farmers. They grew up on the dairy, and the dairy was not fun farming, probably.
They went off and got good jobs, you know.
With days,
All of them.
vacation.
When did the ranch come along?
When we sold the milk cows in 2004, we started the organic beef herd because it's way too more acres than we could do grapes on. So we needed some other project to take care of the rest of the land.
I was going to say, did you needed more stuff to do, Joe?
Beef cows are easier than dairy cows.
And it's been very good. I mean, the two complement each other. When you have to go to Ashland to deliver 1 case of wine, well, you can do 2 boxes of meat too, and it pays the way.
Was it important for you to have some grapes from your family here?
It was. It's very important. Just heritage and just, and it wasn't easy. It was a lot of money, and it's like 15 years waiting from when you pick up the sticks in France to actually taste the wine. So it's a long process, and but it's what we were doing, and it's fit right into our whole plan, you know.
What varietals are grown here?
I think there's 20.
You're talking about there's Chardonnay, Viognier, Sauvignon Blanc, Pinot, Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon, Mondouse, Carmenere. How am I doing good?
Yeah.
Malbec, Cab Franc.
Cab Franc. Why so
Tempranillo.
many? Yeah, Tempranillo. Why so many?
Because as a nursery, we needed all those to have the material to make whatever plant somebody might want. So that's how we got so many varieties, because we needed that material. And we also grew 9 varieties of rootstock to graft onto.
Okay.
And then, so when I started making wine, which was in the early 90s, just started making wine from all the grapes that I had. And it just evolved into making 24 different wines.
Okay, what we got?
This is Rouge Prestige.
Rouge Prestige. So this is what you were telling me about. This is your
This is
blend.
a new blend. Mondouse and Persan. So it's really bright acidity in this. Red fruit and some black fruit.
You could call this the Ginet. This is like your family grapes, right?
Yeah.
This is the Mondouse?
Yeah. Rouge Prestige.
Oh, I would say I like it.
Yeah.
You guys are the only one in the U.S. with this?
We're the only one that had Mondouse for a long time, but now other people have that. But we're the only one today that has Persan.
Here was the first time I've ever heard of Mondouse. Mourvedre was here. Carmenere here. And then now you see other wineries across Southern Oregon growing or buying them or getting them from somewhere.
Yeah.
You're a trendsetter. You really do have a passion for wine. Both of you do. Where'd this come from? Has it always been there?
I think he's like born into it.
Yeah.
His winemaking, he even...
I realized it in '72 when I went back to Europe and found my father's family for the first time. And then when I started making wine, the hardest thing is to trust your palate and trust your nose. And pretty soon when you realize that you do have a talent for recognizing these things, it gets easy. But it's scary until you actually convince yourself that your nose is right and your palate is right. When you see something good, don't mess it up. You see something bad, fix it. So that's a hard thing to realize when you're a new winemaker.
When we had the dairy, if you had a milking and something happened with one milking, you have a milking 12 hours later, but with making wine, you get one chance a year. So that was, I think, a hard thing that he had to learn to trust that he could do it.
But God's pretty forgiving, and he made grapes to make wine. So it's not that big of a deal, and it's not rocket science. It's about 50-50 art and science, but it's not rocket science.
I know there's microclimates in Southern Oregon. What do you experience here in this little pocket?
Well,
Colder, sunnier,
we're definitely colder than any other place around. That's why our wines are different.
less fog.
But there is,
fog.
I'm not a terrific winemaker. I'm not a special winemaker, but this site is special. That's why I'm look to be special, because this site is special, not
he
not
thinks
me.
it's because of the place.
Because I don't do anything special than the other winemakers don't do.
What do you think, Suzi?
I think he's wrong. I think Joe one time said, too, when a bunch of those winemakers came out here and they got a limo, I can't remember who it was, Kylie Evans, and it was Chris Graves, and it was Chris Hubert. There were like 5 or so, and they all came out and they wanted Joe to show them what he does winemaking, because he had just won all these best of show, so I guess that they thought he had some secret. And at the end, Joe was like kind of embarrassed because I don't know what you guys do. And they tasted through the barrels, and then we all went to Jacksonville Inn for dinner. And dinner, Joe was like, I think maybe I know what the difference is. And he said, I think it's patience, that I'm allowed the patience to let the grapes make the wine. I don't have a boss telling me I want the Merlot on the shelf in September. He said, if I don't think it's ready, I don't have anybody telling me what to do.
Right.
He said he thinks patience is the biggest thing.
Okay, what is this for, sir?
So you can see in the barrel when you take it off.
Oh!
See? You see the level?
Hold on.
You need a little bench.
I do. I was going to say, I certainly don't look nerdy with this, son. All right.
You get that, Jeff?
So you just,
Oh, yeah, it's like right here.
so you bring it right up to the bottom of the wood.
What kind of wine?
I think it's Tempranillo, but it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't
There's
matter.
a small amount going into
Okay.
just keeping them topped up so there's no air space.
Why don't you
keep
want
the
any
oxygen.
airspace?
You don't want to oxidize the wine. Air is the enemy of wine.
Gotcha. Right. Can you see that? Am I good?
Almost. No more. Right there. Whoa.
Oh,
Perfect.
perfect, he says. Put the bung in the bung hole. Okay, which one's next?
This is called topping up.
Okay. And you have to do this how often?
Oh, ideally every couple of weeks. These lose about almost a bottle a week from evaporation.
Okay.
So, and it concentrates the wine, and you want to keep them full so that keep that airspace at a minimum.
Check my work.
Yeah, looks good.
Looks
Getting
good.
these ones in are a little more challenging. This one now, it's real challenging.
I can do it. I got it. Just leave it to me. Do you have a favorite part of winemaking?
I really like the crush time, fermentation, and it's hectic and you get tired, but it's really kind of exciting to see how the grapes come in and what you got to do to each batch to get it to the right spot to take off, and what yeast you're going to put with this one. or what mixture of yeast you're going to put with this variety. You got 2 or 3 different fermentation vats of the same variety. What what can you do with the yeast?
You've taught me so much about varieties, because you have a lot of varieties here that, I mean, a lot of people, wine drinkers, haven't ever heard of.
Yeah. That's fun for them. Fun for me. Like an old pro.
I am an old pro, that's right. Yeah, let's go. Oh.
That's all right.
Is that right? That's not right.
It's all right. Go ahead. Pound it in there. It's a little messy.
Oh no, I made a mess. From harvest to, when the fermentation process, everything in barrel, bottling, labeling. I mean, you guys do all of it. You have help from friends, right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, you do all of it.
We do everything here, even print the labels.
What was the reasoning behind that decision to do everything?
Well, in the beginning, I didn't have any money to have any, so I had to do everything, And then it was just, it just doesn't make sense to have the bottling truck come in because of 24 different wines. Every time you change over wine, it's $350, and you have to have all the labels, and you have to have all the tanks to have everything ready at once. 24 different tanks for the bottling. It didn't make sense for me, for us.
There's probably, you also enjoy it.
Yeah, and it gives us something to do, keeps you busy.
Keeps you busy, keeps Suzi busy. She calls this Joe's gym.
Yeah.
She said, this is my workout, this is my gym facility, Joe's gym. This is where she gets her workout in. I think you two also have, you've been doing it for so many years. It's like, why bring in other people to do what we already have a method, we've got it down.
The 2 guys that help me in the winery here are a father and son team, and they've been doing it, I think, 12 or 13 years now, and they've never done it anywhere else. So they only know my way. So if you hire somebody off the street that's been in the industry, well, they've done it with this guy and that guy and that guy. And, I'm not saying that my way is better, but if you're going to do it my way, you do it my way. You can't do it part my way, part his way, part the other way.
Right.
You got to do it your way. Then all the bases are covered if you do it one way. You don't miss anything by not doing this or not doing that. We have a plan, and we have a procedure, and it works.
Is there a variety in the last few years or so that it just keeps getting better and better and better?
The Mondeuse we're learning it's been a very steep curve with the Mondeuse. It wants to make a whole lot of fruit, and it can't ripen it here, so you have to drop a lot of fruit. And then we have the new Plaisance, which is, they blend it often with Mondeuse in Savoie. So we've done that. You see a Rouge Prestige over there, or right here, which has got some Plaisance in it. So we're going to have that, and we got to learn how to grow that grape now, but it seems to be like it here.
Well, and it's obvious too how much you guys truly care about everything on this property, not just the things the plants obviously, but the animals too. It's very obvious.
We're really into the sustainability of it. Actually, we call a circle of life, where everything is related, and we've been organic now for over 10 years. 20 years of the whole ranch. Certified organic since 2004, but the grapes and everything have been fully organic for 10 or 20 years now, and it's really, we can see the benefits of it.
How so?
Well, for instance, the Hispanic family that's been with us for 35 years, when we said, well, we're going organic in the vineyard, and they, no more Roundup, no more this, no more that, and they were against it because they didn't figure out they could do the work, and it was just like, for me, sending them out there into the poison every day, I couldn't do it anymore. So whatever it took, we were going to do it. And after about 3 or 4 years, they're all behind it now. They've seen the benefits of it, and we figured out how to do the work. So they're all behind it. It's good.
With the wine, could you tell a difference? Could you taste a difference?
I think so.
The health of the plants.
Yeah, they tell me that the plants are so much healthier since we've given up all the chemicals.
You two are the epitome of hard work. You've been working hard for decades out here. Why?
Dairy farmers, that's just who you are, I think.
Just kind of in your blood, or?
I think we like to work.
We like it, you know. She's a workaholic. I don't have to force her. I mean, she forces me, you know.
On this bottle, I put it about this far. Bam, bam, and then go.
So I realized you guys did the wax. I didn't realize you did labels too.
Yeah, we have a label machine.
Yeah?
But for every bottle, you had to readjust it. Diagonally put it in, pull it back out, and then slowly twist it.
Yeah, you've showed me this before.
Twist it, and bam. And that way it slopes off the same on every bottle.
Why wax?
We like the look of it, and why not?
Why not? Okay.
And then put that guy on.
Right here?
Yep. As straight as you can.
Ooh.
But it's handcrafted. So
Handcrafted. It's artisan.
that's what we always say. Handcrafted. It's good. Okay, now
Okay,
take it to the wax.
Okay.
And put,
Tell me again.
okay, put this side up, the top, so that it'll be sloped. Okay, dip it in.
Like this, at an angle.
Go down, pull it back, and start twisting. There you go. There you go.
Oh, that's not bad.
Job.
Well, you've done this like 1,000 times.
Oh, I know.
Okay, now help me over here.
Okay.
What is this again? This way? No, other way.
This to the top. Yep.
At an angle.
Yep. Down you go.
Like
Pull it
that.
up. Yep.
Twist, twist, twist until it stops dripping.
Complete. There you go. Look at that.
It's a partnership for so many of these couples that have started these wineries. Do you see that as like, was it a partnership?
Absolutely. I would say.
Yeah, still is.
What do you hear from people who've never been here before?
A lot of people are amazed at all the varieties, of course, you know, all the different wines. And so that's kind of fun for the wine club and fun for people who come here. There's, you know, that never gets boring. There's always something new to try. Mm-hmm. And one comment we get a lot is that usually when people go to wineries, they like this wine or they like that wine, and they seem to like all of our wines. So that's feel pretty good about that. Make good wines. That was the point, is to make wines that I like and just hope everybody else likes them too, or the wines that we like and hope everybody else likes them. That's pretty much how it's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, if he made wine that I didn't like, I wouldn't be able to sell it.
She's my biggest critic. She really is. If she doesn't like a wine, boy, why are you doing it?
Pretty much.
You have a pretty popular wine club.
Yeah.
It's not as big as some. You know, it's not 1,100 people or whatever, but it's capped at 350, and
There's a waiting list.
There's a waiting list.
It's like a 10-year waiting list.
More like a 4 or 5 year.
A 4 or 5 year waiting list?
Yeah.
Why not open the wine club? Why not make it bigger?
we don't have enough wine, and we don't want it to be Costco. You know,
We wouldn't have the wine releases and know all the people when they come.
The dinners out here, the events out here, those are consistent. You've been keeping up with those for years. Why is that important to you?
It's fun.
yeah,
It's not hard work when it's fun. And we don't ever go anywhere, so we have to bring the fun to our house.
What goes through your mind when you see that? When you see people enjoying what you've created?
And that's a reward of doing it, you know. And to put people next to each other that don't know each other and to see them become friends. I like doing that.
That's real fun. Introducing people.
Most of the time it works out. There have been a couple times it was a little hiccup. But
We didn't do that again. But normally it's good. I think so many people have come up, and especially people in from Williams here, and thanked us for what we do for the community. Like, we never realized that we were doing something for the community. We're working for us, you know. But a lot of people feel like we really promote this community by being here and having those events and letting people get together and have fun.
Since we've never lived anywhere else, I never realized that it's hard to get to know people when you move to a new community. And a lot of people have said coming here and how, we'll sit people together even at wine downs, and, if there aren't enough chairs, ask people to sit together. And I've had people say that they made their best friends here after moving here.
Stop, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
There's several groups that they all come now together all out here, and they met out here. It was kind of fun.
You're like the matchmakers of friendships.
We have the, the dreadlocks sitting next to the cowboy hats, sitting next to the suits.
Yeah.
And at the end of the night, they're all laughing and shaking hands and leaving together.
Let's talk about the future. What's on the horizon?
Well, we're getting old, so, you gotta have some kind of plan, so.
Which we don't.
I was gonna ask, what's the plan?
I don't know, maybe we'll just die here and let them clean it up and sell it.
None of your children want to take this over.
It's really hard for one of them to take it over because it's worth a lot of money, and they would have to pay off their siblings, and so they'll all be under the thumb of paying off their siblings, and nobody wants to take on that responsibility.
Well, some of them are retired. Why would they?
They don't want to work. They've already retired from their careers.
Right. It is a labor of love.
And none of them have a passion for wine like I do, or we do.
Do you see this area, let's look in our crystal ball 50 years. Do you still see this as a thriving wine region?
This particular site?
All of Southern Oregon.
Oh yeah, I think it is. It's always going to be a thriving. It's not going to be a Napa or anything because we don't have the Bay Area with millions of people right beside us. It's always going to be kind of like what it is, Yeah, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's a good thing because it's not going to be a whole lot of corporate entities take these over and ruin them. It's going to be mom and pops from now on, so you'll always be able to enjoy that. As coming from wherever, you'll always be able to enjoy the small family winery experience. And another thing that's really interesting from when we started 20 years ago is wine quality has gotten so much better. And the talent of winemakers, all the young kids that that are running all the places now, they're just, they're just a wealth of knowledge and talent that we've drawn in. And that's going to make our region even better and stronger, and that's great.
You both bring different perspectives to this place. You both bring different stories and history here. And I think, I wonder sometimes if that's what makes this place so special, is the two of you.
I don't know.
I think, and it's unpretentious. This barn is unpretentious, and we're unpretentious.
Very much.
So all that, some people want pretentious, they want Napa. They want to feel that pretentiousness, that they are a part of that. Well, they're not for here. This is not the place for them.
People say they like the experience of being here, which I don't know what they really mean by that. But
I would say it's you two. I text you if we're coming out here, because if you're not here, I kind of don't want to come unless I get to see you two, to be truthful. I do think you two play a huge role in the experience.
I guess.
Not pretentious and modest. It's special because of you two. And I don't know if you believe that or not, but I'm telling you, that's why Plaisance is special. The wine is incredible. There's no question about that. But I think people...
You can get good wine lots of places, though.
You sure can.
On the internet.
I can't hear a story about a big old fat deer in your vineyard eating all your grapes.
And go see it hanging.
Take home hamburger from it.
Right. When you look around here, all the things that you've done, what are you and Suzi most proud of?
I think just fitting into the community and helping the community and making a sustainable business, not only environmentally but financially and socially, and totally sustainable is not an easy thing to do, and we've done it.